I'm calling it right now. This is the most slept on bottle of 2026 and is going to be in everyone's end of the year blinds. We don't know a whole lot about this whiskey yet, but what we do know is it's 13-year age stated. It's coming in at 121.2 proof. It was created and curated by Bruce Russell to commemorate his dad Eddie's 45 years at Wild Turkey. It's out in a few markets. This bottle specifically was released in Tennessee at a retailer. The Wild Turkey Gold Foil Edition hasn't even reached California yet. It hasn't released all markets yet, and this came out right behind it, right underneath. Okay, let's get into tasting notes. Officially, the color is clear. It's no haziness. No. The nose. The nose on this whiskey is a bit tricky. I say tricky because it could maybe be underwhelming. Only if you don't like super sweet deep brown sugar, if you don't like pastry, caramel, cinnamon, vanilla frosting, baking spices, heavy on the baking spice, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, lots of nutmeg, clove. There's a lot of clove. Clove is something interesting. You get clove a lot on more aged whiskeys. Clove, if you haven't had clove, go to your spice rack, ask your wife where the clove is. I know you don't know where the clove is, but ask your wife where the clove is. I used to work in a coffee shop, and we made this drink with cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. It was called the ginger snap. See, this has a little bit of spice, but not a gingery spice, more just those baking spices, clove, cinnamon, nutmeg. Because when you think turkey, you think big peppery spice. You think big tropical fruit notes. You think a sweet, sour complex. This isn't like that. Well, actually, when I did nose this the first time, this is probably my fourth tasting. When I did nose this the first time, I was like, man, this is different. This nose is not, I was a little scared. I was like, what is this going to be? But man, the nose is really good. It's just not typical. It's atypical. Yeah, this nose is intense. It is so sweet. It is so sweet. The sweetness on this nose is decadent. It's mornings on Saturday, going to the donut shop. We have this local donut shop here in San Jose that is fantastic, where you walk in and you just smell the fried dough. It is so sweet. This nose is probably the sweetest wild turkey nose I've ever had. And I'm leading in because the palate just does the same exact thing. This palate intensely sweet. It is a sweet cinnamon, sweet vanilla frosting, sweet cream cheese frosting. It is literally a cinnamon roll with tons of frosting. White raisins, if you're into that. I mean, all I've done to this whiskey is I put it in this decanter, and I put it in a decanter because much like wines that need time to open up, people say, oh, get into this bottle in 6 months or in 3 months. You don't got to do that. You don't have to wait to get into your bottle. You don't have to wait to enjoy your bottle. If you pour some whiskey out into a decanter, yeah, it might seem pretentious, but just go get one. It's not expensive. It's not a big deal. When you have old whiskey that's 13 years old, up to 18 years old, it needs time. It needs air. It needs a surface area. Different ways to manipulate the effect that the air is going to have on it. So you don't have to wait to get into your bottle to enjoy it. You can pour out a fresh crack right into a decanter, leave it in here, and pour from your decanter. And you got to be careful because, I'm already into this bottle heavy. When you get into this palate, everything from the nose will come in, and you'll see what I'm saying. There's just so much. The texture, the creaminess, the oiliness. I'll say this with full confidence. The palate on this whiskey is perfect. Perfect in the sense that there's not one note that's out of place that you don't want there. There's not one note there that shouldn't be there. And if this is Eddie's profile, I don't know where it's been. If this is what he enjoys, the last few bottlings of Russell's Reserve 13, I didn't even search for because after the third release, I was just the juice wasn't worth the squeeze to hunt down this bottle. I'd have to do a lot to get this bottle, call in some favors, trade a couple things, and it just wasn't worth it. But I'd retail $199. If I have to call in a favor, if I have to trade something I might not want to trade, I'm gonna do it because this is a profile I don't think I've ever had in Wild Turkey, and Wild Turkey's by far my favorite distillery. There is so much here, and it is so delicious. It's a crusher. I just got this bottle 2 days ago, and I'm pretty far into it, and I have to stop myself because it's 121 proof. So you can really be getting into this bottle, and it is just so delicious. And I'm not sure the yield yet. I did some googling, and the last few releases, the barrels have been, around 200 barrels for this, and it is barrel proof. This release has so much going on, and it has so much flavor and so much sweetness. The complexity, I could say, could use some, if there was a huge pepper note or something, I would say the complexity is probably a bit higher. But when something does something so well, I can really appreciate that. And especially when it's a distillery that is not known for this profile, this special 13 to 18 year whiskey, I have to pay attention, and I have to say that on the heels of the 16-year gold foil that everyone's talking about, that everyone loves, that's super monumental, on the heels of that, this is creeping in, and it's truly going to be the sleeper of 2026. If you have the opportunity to get this for anything close to, I mean, I would easily pay $300 for this release without even blinking. I mean, the way things are going with NDPs and from Barton, and all day $2.99, people buy it. People have at least one. People love it. People buy multiple of them. If you find this for $300, $350, don't blink. Just do it. You're not going to regret it. It's the profile. You're not going to find a profile like this on Turkey again. Not in the past, anyway. Who knows what they'll do in the future, but my hunch, my guess, is that the 45th anniversary edition for Eddie Russell, in the future, you're going to look back and you're going to see this bottle and you're going to say, dang, should have grabbed it because it's amazing. Wild Turkey's never done anything like it. Eddie Russell is a huge pillar. If you watch any of the podcasts with Eddie, he's super technical. He knows what he's doing. He loves Wild Turkey. He just doesn't like to be in the spotlight. He would say that his dad will talk your ear off. Eddie's not like that. He'll just do his thing and be out. But I have a feeling that Bruce made this blend for his dad, who gave him the game, brought him to the game, and he made it something that they're never going to do again, at least while Bruce is around. Rarebird 101 said Wild Turkey's back. He's not wrong. This release right off the heels of the gold foil, and no one's talking about it yet because it's not nationwide yet. However, when it does drop in your area, call in that favor, get it. If you missed out on the gold foil, don't worry. Get this. Load up on it. Bottle. I'm going to get a backup. And that's crazy. In 2026, thinking about backups, you normally wouldn't. You don't. Not anymore because there's so much good stuff coming out. But I'm such a Wild Turkey fan. I'm such a fan of Bruce Russell and what he's turning Wild Turkey into with these last two releases. And then off the heels of Beacon from last year. I love this whiskey so much. I just want to thank Wild Turkey. Here's to Eddie. Here's to your 45 years in the industry. Here's to everything you've done for the legacy of Wild Turkey, for people like me to enjoy, people who love whiskey, people who love Wild Turkey. Yeah, here's to Eddie. Here's to your 45 years in the industry.